Hi everyone, finally back. So I was actually going to bring you a 2018 my favourite camera video. So this video is all about my favourite camera of 2018, which I personally feel that I actually own and used and think to myself it's the best camera. It's not the best camera. But I decided not to because my favourite camera of 2018 is the Sony A6400, believe it or not. So I got this camera for super cheap. So I picked it up for £400 and it has basically banged. Like, it's great for low light, photos, everything. I just love the camera. I keep using it all the time. Keep using it one of my GH5. It's got 120 frames a second slow-mo. It shoots 4K. It just does everything, and it's such a small package. So for me personally, that has been my favourite camera of 2018. However, as we all know, if you're watching this channel, you're probably into cameras and you know that they have released the Sony A6400, which for me, I was a bit like, what? Like, where did that even come from? I did not even understand or had any idea on where that came from. So when I saw it had a flip out screen, I thought, wow, that's fantastic. Like, I'm using my GH5 now with the screen flipped out. It's like, that's perfect. So you can see what you're doing, you can see everything. So for me, I was just so amazed that they released this camera with this crazy flip out screen. Apparently it's got an OLED screen on the back. I'm using the Huawei Mate 20 Pro, which has got the same like OLED screen. And for me, like, when if you look at an older phone compared to this, you can just tell the quality is amazing. So that would be fantastic to see that, because as we all know, if you ever shoot Sony, I used to have an A7S Mark II, and I used to just not really, I know everyone out there loves that camera, I never really liked it. I actually prefer the A6300 to that. Yeah, but as we all know, with anyone with Sony, you will always notice that they will always have a monitor. It's because the Sony screen is useless, like you can't see anything, it just looks crap. Sorry Sony, but that is your downfall. My original video was all about the A6300. For me, for 2018, it's been a fantastic camera. I've got it in the summer and I've used it, it's always in my kit bag. I've got a Sigma MC11 on there, and so anywhere I go, as you know, I always use adapters, so on all my cameras, so all my adapters are EF mount. So I literally use like 18-35, all different kind of lenses, 24-105, 24mm, everything. They all just go on each of my cameras. So I always carry my GH5 and my A6300. The whole point of this video was to say about the A6300, and then they just swooped in. They came from nowhere and then just announced that oh, here's a Sony A6400, which I think everyone thought was going to be like the A7000, and obviously a jump up from the A6500. Well, as we all know, if you've read the specs, this camera does not have any IBIS, so it's a bit shaky. Like my A6300, sometimes if you're shooting like a gym video, that little bit of shake gives to the moment and stuff like that, so I find it pretty cool. However, for any new filmmaker coming into like this sort of industry, you want to do stuff for Instagram, like you get the 24 megapixels, you get 4K video if you need it, you get 120 frames per second slow-mo if you need it, you get 60 frames per second at 1080 if you need it. It's just, for me, I actually think this camera is totally amazing. And it's small. Like on mine, it's got a cage. Like for me, mine, when I first got it, I thought, yeah, great. I felt it was a bit too small for me when I was using it, so I ended up getting a small grid cage, and then when you put that on, it actually becomes a bit bigger than like an A7 III. So for me now, it looks like a better camera. It's got a bit of wooden handles, so it makes it look a bit more retro, a bit more vintage, and obviously it protects it. Recently it's got Atomos, so you can just put a nice arm on there, magic arm on there with the Atomos, so look out for that. That'll be the next video coming out soon. Yeah, so people always ask me, oh, what camera would you buy? What camera would you have? And they always seem to like edge towards like a Canon or a Nikon. Like, I do think you should look at maybe just for any new filmmaker out there, or anyone who's in filmmaking and want to make a bit of a jump, but not too much of a mad jump, you can pick up a nice A6300 for like £400 or £500. And I think you would find it absolutely amazing for any new filmmaker or anyone looking for a nice weekend camera or a camera to take out with them. Like, I've got a Sony 16mm pancake lens. You put that on there, combination with just the A6300, and it's like a little pocket camera. You can put it in your girlfriend's bag, put it in your pocket, in your jacket pocket, just pull it out when you need it. It's fantastic. So also guys, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Everyone look out for my new video that should be released next week, which will be about phone photography, how to take a great photo on a phone. Here's a couple of examples. and a new video will be coming every week.